Welcome to Get Your Goal with Paula B. I'm your host, Paula B. I'm a weight loss and menopause expert, certified life coach, and author of the book, Mind Over Menopause. On this podcast, we dive deep into the mindset tools and proven Get Your Goal formula that will help you lose weight for the last time. Are you ready to get your goal? Me too. Let's go. Hello, goal friend. Welcome to episode number 298. We are going to figure out why you got off track, and I'm going to let you know what to do about it. You guys, this is a question that I get asked. No, you know what? This isn't even a question that I get asked. This is a statement that I hear super duper frequently when I'm reading comments on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, really everywhere that I am online, and even places where you're not talking directly to me, but you're talking to yourself or other people online, where you're talking about how you've gotten off track, how things were going great for however long with your weight loss journey. And then all of a sudden, you've just kind of found yourself off track. And I want you to know that I have an answer for you and that this is completely figure-outable. No matter when you have found yourself off track, maybe you've just started on your weight loss journey, you're a couple of days or a couple of weeks in, and it was going great, but then you realized that things got really tough and life got in the way and everything kind of went sideways. Or maybe you've been losing weight for weeks or months or been maintaining for years. And then suddenly there's this thing that you find yourself off track. And here's what I want you to know. No matter when it is, where you are on the journey, how long you've been either losing weight or maintaining your weight or working towards whatever goal it is that you're working on. Truly, this is so completely universal. Here is what has happened. You had a thought that created a feeling that you didn't want to feel. When you find yourself not doing a thing that you intend to do, a thing that you have either been doing for a long time or have just started this habit forming, whatever the thing is that you find yourself not doing, or the thing that you find yourself doing where you're like, I didn't mean to be doing this particular thing. Some examples might be, let's say, for example, that you find yourself at the end of the day having not met your calorie target or having not met your water target. Those are the two that always get to me. I'm really good at sleep. I am really good at exercising. I'm really good at journaling. But I tell you what, the calories, when I was losing weight, I am not currently, but when I was losing weight, the calorie thing, I would definitely find myself off track there. Or the water thing. I still sometimes find myself not meeting my target. And in both cases, I would find myself at the end of the day like it was some kind of a mystery. Currently, I am working on, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm working on creating a full course in the Get Your Goal group that is broken down. In fact, I know I did talk about this just recently on the 3 stages of weight loss, where I have a full course for the people who are losing the first 5 pounds and another full course for people who are losing all the 5 poundses. And then another course for people who are losing the last 5 pounds. And additionally, because there are plenty of people who come to the Get Your Goal group and stay in the Get Your Goal group long after they have gotten their first goal and have moved on to second or third or even fourth goals, there is a program for people who are maintaining and working on whatever their other goal is. So I'm working on these courses and it's going really well. I have them fully conceptualized in my head. And for these particular courses, I'm creating them a little bit differently than I sometimes do things. I love to talk off the top of my head. I don't usually write out an entire script for the podcast, but I am writing out entire scripts for these courses so that I can say exactly what I want to say in the exact way that I want to say it. Because sometimes, like here on the podcast, I'll get partway in and then find myself kind of going down a rabbit hole or talking about something else, or it doesn't come out quite the way I meant it to. So this is my way of making sure that I say what I want to say as concisely as maybe I don't want to say it, but that, as I know, will be helpful for you to hear it. So I'm writing the scripts and I am finding myself not writing the scripts. The courses are in my head and all I have to do is get them out on paper. And yet during the day, I am finding myself playing on my phone or working on things that are important, but maybe not as important. It's an interesting place to be in my brain and in my business to notice that I am procrastinating. And here's what I want you to know, and here's what I am telling myself. There's nothing about this situation that is abnormal or unnatural. This is my brain being my brain. This is my body being my body. I am having a thought that is creating a feeling that I don't want to feel. And there is nothing about this that is not figure outable. We're going to get to this in just a minute when I tell you what to do. But there's nothing going on that has any mystery about it. There's a thought and a feeling. There's always a thought and a feeling. They are both findable. They are both, well, the feeling is feelable and the thought is thinkable. Like there's nothing about this that is unnatural or outside of me. And here's what I think is one of the most important things to know. There is nothing about this that is some kind of character flaw about you or about me. This is biology. This is straight up the way your brain works, the way your body works, the way nature works. We are human beings with human brains, and we are hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. In this case, the pain that we're talking about, and I put heavy air quotes around that, is simply the uncomfortable feeling. When a feeling is uncomfortable, of course, you are resistant to feeling it. This is natural. This is normal. This is actually the way we are hardwired to work. Because I'm going to say in general, things that are, painful, like touching something hot or fear or surprise sometimes, those are feelings that you would rather not feel and learn from that rather not feel it. In the case of procrastination or not drinking your water or not hitting your calorie target, it is a little bit more nuanced. There is some thought in there that is creating a feeling for you that you would rather not feel simply because lots of us have been taught that we don't want to feel any of our feelings, that we should shove down all of our feelings. And this brings us to the what to do about it part of the podcast. The reason you got off track is because you had a thought that created an uncomfortable feeling. Here's what you do. A couple of things. Number one, you simply observe the behavior. Like literally notice what's going on. Notice that you are, for example, procrastinating. Notice that you are not hitting your calorie target. Notice that you are doing something instead of going to bed on time. Notice. And let me be very, very clear that the observation is not observation and judgment. And in fact, that is step 2 of this plan of what to do about it. Step 1 is observe. Step 2 is to remove all of the judgment that you have about it. This is why I already have offered you that this is biology. This is the way your brain and your body are supposed to work. There's nothing about this that means anything about you. And further to that, there's nothing about this situation that means anything about your ultimate success. You can and will ultimately get where you're going, especially if you can do this exact procedure. Observe and remove judgment. When you can remove the judgment, and by that what I mean is notice that as soon as you have observed the behavior, that your brain piled on judgment. Your brain told you something like, it's because you're lazy, it's because this never works, it's because you're terrible at this, you've always failed, blah, 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 blah. All of that judgment can be completely peeled off the top. You are a human being with a human brain that is hardwired to behave exactly the way you are behaving. And further to that, what's really going on here is operating at a level that until you have observed it, you wouldn't have had the opportunity to notice it. This is what I mean. The thought that you are having is subconscious. There's a thought that you are not hearing, creating a feeling that you'd rather not feel. So therefore, you probably didn't notice that either. You went directly into resistance mode, which is to say that you just didn't do the thing or you found something else to do instead. There was at no point in time at which you could have heard the thought or felt the feeling. They were both there and gone in an instant at a subconscious level. So there's nothing about any of this situation of you getting off track that you could have noticed before. So peeling off the label, or not the label, but the whole of the layer of judgment is really important here. You can then, this is step 3, go ahead and take responsibility. Taking responsibility and ownership of the situation really requires that removal of judgment. It's very, very easy for all of us to simply sit in the muck of judgment, labeling ourselves as procrastinators or failures or somebody who will never get where we want to go. All of the nonsense that you've heard in your head. That layer, honestly, the judgment layer, probably not subconscious. That's the layer that you have very distinct access to. That's the layer of thoughts that you could probably hear all day, every day. And that's why we want to peel it back. It's not helping you get where you want to go, and none of it's true. What's going on is that you had a thought, a subconscious thought, that created a feeling that you didn't even have time to notice because it was uncomfortable in your body. So your body and your brain went into avoid pain, seek pleasure mode, and you were often doing something else. This is where we get to the next step. And I will tell you that I consider the final step of this process to be a little bit more advanced. If you are new to mindset work, step 1 and step 2 of observe what's going on and remove judgment is all you need to do. When you are ready, when you have some practice digging in to your subconscious thoughts in your journal, when you have some practice feeling your feelings on purpose, I consider this part of the program of the all the fives stage. When you're losing your first 5 pounds, when you are first getting started with mindset work, simply observe and remove judgment will actually move you forward. It will take you where you want to go. It's when we get into more of the mindset work, when you are digging into the second layer, that you might be interested in actually finding the subconscious thought. When you find that subconscious thought, you simply take yourself into the moment when you were about to sit down at the computer or about to pull out your phone and track your calories, or about to go to bed and didn't, or about to drink water and didn't, or about to stop exercising at moderate and moved well past it. You put yourself right in that moment. You peel back all the layers of judgment and you simply ask yourself very kindly, very gently, what was I thinking? And not with that sarcastic, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Which is the layer of judgment that we have already peeled back. But with curiosity and kindness and interest. Like for reals, what was the thought in my brain? What was the spark of electricity that sent a cascade of hormones into my bloodstream that created an uncomfortable feeling? Now, here's the thing about this when you do this part of the work. you already know that whatever the thought was created an uncomfortable feeling. Let this guide you. You already know that the feeling is going to be uncomfortable. You already know that the thought was subconscious. So this isn't going to be something that you're doing that's just a lark, that's just for fun, that's going to feel amazing. You know, going into this work, that you're going to hear a thought that is, well, first of all, it's unhelpful because it feels uncomfortable, but also it might sound painful. Hence, the feeling that is going to be uncomfortable. Knowing that you're going to hear a painful thought that creates an uncomfortable, maybe even painful feeling means that you might even come into this work with a little bit of resistance. It's really important to come in with an open mind and be prepared to feel whatever that uncomfortable feeling is. When you find the thought, be prepared to feel the uncomfortable feeling, which means that your heart might pound, you might get sweaty or snotty if you're me, or you might cry, you might feel angry. Whatever that feeling is, your body was trying to avoid feeling it. So you are really going to have to be gentle and kind with yourself to be able to sit with it, to observe it, to express it, to allow it in your body. When you are in a place where you have come to this feeling with an openness and a kindness and with the desire to allow it, it will only last about a minute and a half. And I say about because sometimes even when we come to this work like, okay, I'm here for it. This is happening. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm gonna feel an uncomfortable feeling. Sometimes we still have some resistance. And that resistance makes the feeling last longer in our body. Knowing that this is all completely okay. You can't get stuck in a feeling. Your body wants to return to homeostasis. It wants to take care of these hormones. Everything that's happening here is exactly the way your brain and your body are supposed to function. Here's what will happen if you are capable, and by capable, I don't mean like you could be incapable. I just mean that you've practiced, you've come to this work, you've worked on this skill. When you have worked on this skill and practiced it so that you have achieved some level of mastery over it, here's what will happen. You will come to your journal and find whatever the subconscious thought is. Here's my subconscious thought. By the way, I have done this work. And my brain is still working on it. The subconscious thought that I have is nobody's going to like this. This is an old one, and it's one that I'm still working on. Nobody's going to like this creates a feeling of unlikability. That feeling of unlikability feels like an absolute drop in the pit of my stomach. It feels like a black hole inside of me that can never be filled. It feels dark. It feels like I want to squeeze everything. I want to curl into a fetal position around this black hole inside of me so that it doesn't exist. That feeling, that emotion, that cascade of hormones inside my body lasts about, this one feels a little bit longer to me. I have not actually timed it. I'm going to say it's about 2 to 3 minutes long. Once I have felt that feeling, my brain and my body can metabolize that experience and understand that that feeling isn't actually going to kill me. It's not actually that bad. It's feelable, which means that it becomes easier and easier and easier over time to sit down at the keyboard and write out the scripts because I'm capable of feeling unlikable. And of course, It's patently untrue. Some people like me, some people don't. I like me. There's nothing about nobody's going to like this or they're not going to like this or whatever version of that thought that crosses through my brain. There's nothing about that that is ultimately like the truth. Understanding that and being able to dismiss it like consciously and verbally like that is not the work here though. Actually feeling through the feeling changes your brain and your body. When you find the thought and feel the feeling, rather than simply dismissing it or shoving it down or judging yourself for having the thought, as your brain is likely to do, don't worry here. Judgment is natural. You judge yourself all the time. Again, it's completely okay, and you can observe it and peel it back. When you do this work, observing, removing the layer of judgment, finding the thought, and feeling the feeling, you will become, over time, this is not necessarily immediate, but over time, it will get easier and easier and easier and easier to do the things that you want to do to stay on track. You will find yourself less and less often doing whatever it is you didn't intend to do, playing on your phone, staying up late, not drinking your water, over-exercising, over or under-eating, whichever one it is, whatever, choose your poison, whatever the thing is that you have been finding yourself either doing or not doing that you have labeled as off track. You will, over time, be more and more and more capable and willing and feel amazing about doing the tasks that you want to do in order to get where you want to go. Let me be very clear that there is nothing about any of this that A, is actually off track. You are always on track towards your goal. And B, there's nothing about this that is beyond you or outside of you. It's all figure-outable. It's all under your agency. None of it is fast work. None of it is some kind of magic pill where suddenly you're amazing at everything. It's all really doable. And I encourage you to dig in wherever you are. Start by simply observing what's going on. Just notice, oh my gosh, here's this thing that is either happening or not happening. And it's completely okay that this is happening or not happening because I am a human being with a human brain, and observing it without judgment is the first layer of changing it to be able to get where I want to go. I really hope that this was helpful for you today to meet you where you are, that no matter what is going on, that you are completely on track. My friend, thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for listening. Be sure to leave a rating and review so other women of a certain age can stop struggling with the scale and start loving their menopausal bodies. And if you're ready to change your mindset while you're changing your weight, then it's time to get into the Get Your Goal Mastermind group, where you'll find my proven success formula, answers to your questions, expert coaching, and the community support you've been looking for. You don't need to lose weight alone when you can have fun and level up your mindset with friends. With weekly coaching calls, live journaling classes, and access to the tools and strategies I've used to help thousands of women lose weight for the last time, the Get Your Goal group is the place for you to get your goal. Learn more about group membership at www.getyourgoal.com. And I'll see you inside the group.